Welcome to this deep dive. If you've been watching the convergence of Wall Street and crypto lately, well, this is the battlefield you need to understand. In just the first 3 months of 2026, a single custom-built blockchain processed like $633 billion.
Yeah, that number is just staggering.
Right. And they captured up to 44% of the entire on-chain perpetuals market, which, if you're new to the term, perpetuals are simply a way for traders to bet on the future price of an asset without an expiration date.
Exactly. And to grasp how they absorb that much volume, we really have to look under the hood, because most decentralized exchanges just share space on massive networks, like Ethereum.
And then they end up fighting for block space and paying those unpredictable gas fees.
Right. But Hyperliquid bypassed that entirely. They built HyperBFT, which is an application-specific Layer 1 blockchain.
So it's basically a dedicated high-speed rail line built exclusively for trading.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And they put a totally different engine on those tracks. Instead of using automated algorithms to price assets like most of crypto does, they built a central limit order book right into the blockchain.
That's hypercore, right?
Right, hypercore. So they are actually matching buyers and sellers directly millisecond by millisecond with zero gas fees.
Which is pretty wild.
It is. But what's fascinating here is how they designed their HYPE token around that high-speed engine. I mean, it is an absolute masterclass in value accrual.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the tokenomics are intense.
Yeah, so through a mechanism called the Assistance Fund, the protocol programmatically takes 97% of its daily revenue to buy back HYPE tokens on the open market and burn them.
So imagine a multi-billion-dollar casino, but instead of the owners pocketing the profits, the casino takes 97% of its daily house edge and uses it to constantly buy up and destroy its own casino chips.
Exactly. It mathematically forces immense scarcity because the supply is constantly shrinking while the trading volume scales up.
And because of that highly optimized economic and technical engine, they expanded aggressively into traditional finance, right?
They did. Through their HIP-3 and HIP-4 upgrades, they bridged the gap into TradFi. They started using decentralized data feeds or oracles to track off-chain prices.
So this allowed users to trade synthetic representations of like pre-IPO SpaceX shares or crude oil, all on-chain 24/7.
Right. You could be trading the price action of oil on a Sunday afternoon.
But here's where things get dangerous. When you allow people to trade exotic assets around the clock with massive leverage, you aren't just inviting volume, you're inviting predators.
Oh, absolutely. And that massive unregulated liquidity explosion led directly to what's known as the jelly crisis.
Walk us through that. What actually happened?
Well, a highly sophisticated manipulator artificially pumped an illiquid meme coin called Jelly by over 400%.
Wow. 400%.
Yeah, and this rapid price spike triggered a cascade of toxic underwater debt that threatened to completely drain a $230 million liquidity vault.
So a systemic attack.
Completely. And to save the vault from total insolvency, Hyperliquid's validator committee manually intervened.
Wait, human validators?
Yes, a small group of humans running the network. They froze trading and forcibly settled all the manipulators' positions at the original pre-pump price.
Hold on, I have to challenge this narrative right here. If a small group of human validators can just hit an emergency freeze button and rewrite trades to save a vault, doesn't that completely invalidate the decentralized, code is law promise?
I mean, that's the big debate.
Because how is this any different from the New York Stock Exchange halting trading to protect market makers?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it explains a necessary, albeit controversial, trade-off. The validators prioritize speed, deep liquidity, and preventing a catastrophic $230 million collapse over absolute rigid decentralization.
So survival over ideological purity.
Exactly.
And that massive market capture and systemic risk profile is exactly why traditional giants like the CME and ICE are aggressively lobbying regulators right now.
Oh yeah, they're arguing that this kind of permissionless leverage is a huge systemic danger. But Hyperliquid responded by going on the offensive. They actually funded a $28 million DC lobbying arm to push for U.S. integration.
And they're essentially fighting a two-front war, because while battling regulators, they also have to defend their tech from decentralized competitors like Lighter.
Right. Lighter is a zero-fee ZK rollup.
So instead of a human committee that could freeze the market, they just use math.
Yes. It uses heavy cryptography to mathematically prove that trades are valid. It completely removes the need for human trust. So it's a direct structural threat to Hyperliquid's entire model.
So let's summarize the stakes for you. Hyperliquid successfully solved the crypto trading trilemma and bridged into traditional finance through NASDAQ-listed PUR and regulated ETPs.
But their crown is heavily contested. They built a financial juggernaut, but those vulnerabilities are tested daily.
Which leaves you with a final thought to mull over. If a decentralized exchange relies on a centralized DC lobbying center to survive regulations and a small committee of human validators to freeze trading during a crisis, is it really replacing traditional Wall Street or just rebuilding it on a blockchain?